There we go. Tied at 10, not anymore. This time, Ratified is down. Here in double O2. We'll go at it again inside. Tampa Bay Gators are going to crash hole 19.
Time is happening in the Cardinals since 2000.
Well, folks, there's 13 weeks in a Car Demolition League season, and today we start the third week. March 7th game day here in the CDL. I'm the owner and creator and the runner of all things pretty much here in the Car Demolition League. James Holt's going to be bringing you the action live today. Well, not live, but as live as it can get, folks. You know, dealing with a low budget in toy cars. But nonetheless, great day of action. Chicago Wind Attack. They are 5-1 on the road, coming off that big win against the Nashville Nighthawks. On the road to take on the defending world champion LA Blades, who are also 5-1 coming to this game day. So Blades and Wind Attack can be leading things off. Then the Nashville Nighthawks looking to shake off the loss in our middle feature as Nighthawks be on the road to take on the 3-2 0-1 Nevada Thunder. Also on tap for this one, we got a team that hasn't lost yet versus a team that hasn't lost in regulation yet. The 4-0-1 Dayton Rebels on the road to take on the only team that still has a perfect record here in the CDL this season, the 6-0 Buffalo Warriors. Should be a fun game to watch. Dayton and Buffalo going head-to-head. Dayton with a lot of new, fresh faces, a lot of young faces, so to speak, players that are just coming up and really stepping up defensively, so especially with Toe at the captain spot. But of course, what has stepped up his game for the Buffalo Warriors side, and Tyrell, absolutely amazing so far this season. So we're going to see how that one turns out in the main event. That being said, let's get to some of the development league action, because there was some here today, the start of the third week of the season. Oakland with the 15-5 win over Mexico City. Cincinnati defeats Anaheim 15-10. Oklahoma City with the 15-10 win over Alaska. They're back on the winning track. The Winnipeg Predators winning 15-5 on the road against the Vancouver Bears. Utah home against Kansas City gives the Indians their first loss of the season, 15-5, the final score in that one. Little Rock Razors with the 15-5 win over the Calgary Stallions. We saw Edmonton winning 15-5 over Memphis. Baltimore Colts, the runners-up to the Soldiers Cup last year, 15-0. They get the win over the Orlando Rage. Rochester, the Tomahawks, back on the winning path, 20-15, a win over their division rivals, the Toronto Canadiens, in overtime. And Montreal potting a 15-10 win over the defending back-to-back Soldiers Cup champions, the Syracuse Scorpions. Richmond Reapers had the bye. And basically 21 development league teams and basically 2 pro teams for every development league team to look over, basically. It's where the teams keep their backups, if you will. That being said, March 7th game day about to take place. Should be an entertaining one. Chicago and Los Angeles. That's what I got on my board here. So let's go on ahead, get down the field, get this game day started. Welcome, CDL fans, to our March 7th edition of CDL Live here in the 2016 season, the 20th season here in the Car Demolition League. So celebrating 20 years all season long here, and leading off the way for this March 7th game day. One heck of a game about to be on tap. Battle between 2 teams that come in here and only a loss has gone to each of them. So 5 wins, 1 loss. That is a record of the visiting Chicago Wind Attack, just as well as it is the record of the Los Angeles Blades, the defending back-to-back world champions. Wind Attack and Blades should be an entertaining matchup. As these 2 kingpins of the Western Conference go at it. Should be very fun to see. And this is what leads off this whole March 7th game day. Plenty of other entertainment to come, but let's take a look at how they did in their last games. The Chicago Wind Attack. They found themselves on the home side of the field against division rivals, the Nashville Nighthawks. Both teams were 4-1 going into that game. Chicago was able to pull away the 15-10 win. So they've been in the same type of game before, only this time they're on the road here the very next game day. As for the LA Blades, they took on an up-and-coming Dallas Lone Stars team. They were on the road to face them, and they came away with a 15-5 win to hit that 5-1 mark. Should be a fun game to watch here, so let's get right down to it. Chicago Wind Attack, Los Angeles Blades. Let's get a look at the lineups.
I love LA. Big Bad California. Yes. Still applies to me. Everybody got something to say.
And here we go. Pioneer will be the first car out there for the visiting Chicago Wind Attack, and it'll be Pink Indy Jr. leading the way for the Los Angeles Blades. They go at it, first collision, and Pioneer has a flip, 5-0 Chicago. And that now brings out Cove Light for the LA Blades. And Cove Light has a flip to tie the game up right away. 5-5 the score. So the action quick moving, but now we got two defensive cars on the field here. That is Highlight for the Chicago Wind Attack, coming out from their middle man spot to take on Cove Light. And both cars good defensively. Usually Cove Light is playing the 5-point gainer position, but they got far future there today. Just goes to show you can't do nothing wrong when you are the Los Angeles Blades. Have that kind of lineup, and Cove Light has a good flip there, and the Blades take a 10-5 lead. And that brings out R for the Wind Attack. From their captain spot, trying to keep the Chicago side alive in this game. Not going to be able to do it, and the Blades dominate here today, and Cove Light gets the job done. And let me tell you something, that could be lethal. They can switch it up. You don't know who they're going to send at that middle man spot. It doesn't matter if it's Cove Light or Far Future. It could have even been Greelina. The Blades, most dominant team possibly in the league. But, of course, there is an undefeated team ahead of them in the stands right now. They'll be playing in a little while. But, of course, I'm speaking of the Buffalo Warriors, who come into this game day with a 6-0 record. And we'll be putting that on the line in our main event today when they take on the Dayton Rebels. That being said, our next game that will be coming up, though, the Nashville Nighthawks and the Nevada Thunder. It's our middle event here on this March 7th game day. But before we get to that, let's get a look at some highlights around the league. Final score here, 15-5. The Los Angeles Blades get the win over the Chicago Wind Attack. They go to 6-1. Chicago falling to 5-2. Well, Blades dominance reigns supreme here to start off this March 7th game day. 15-5, getting the win over the Chicago Wind Attack. And Alex Johnson's Blades, who can stop them? I'm hearing all the New York Empire fans out there going, we can. Anyways, but nonetheless, huge win for the Blades, taking down a tough Chicago opponent. And that being said, on to some highlights. Plenty of action going on around the league. So let's get down to it. And we start off the highlight reel with the Twisters and the Panthers, two heavyweights out there to start the game off, and Rowdy would have the flip on Monty. But that was quickly followed up by that flip by Purple Fire, even the score at 5. Then right after that, Silver Indy coming out to give the Twisters back the lead, but out comes who from the Panthers captain spot, looking to keep them in the game. Silver Indy going for the win, and in the end, who gets the flip? Game tied at 10. That brought out Mr. Freeze for the Twisters, and almost an interference here, but look at this. Staying away from that pit zone, getting the good flip right there was who, giving the Panthers a 15-10 lead. So now Diablo 1 out there, and look at the chance he had on who there, who somehow able to stay up, keep in the game here. You're going to see a couple of great moves by who. Here's another one. There's another one. You're about to see another one, too, that we should have put in slow-mo, perhaps. But nonetheless, look at that. Somehow able to stay up there as they continue to go at it. who putting on a good fight, and the offensive chances for Diablo 1 just amazing. He finally got the flip there. So Diablo 1 taking down who now goes into overtime against 1975. Game tied at 15 in OT. And for the win, Diablo 1 getting the job done there. He goes 2-0 from the 5-point gainer spot. And the Twisters have the win in overtime. 20-50 in the final. Miami Mafia and the Atlanta Avengers is what we go to next. Two struggling teams in the Southeast Division as you see the opening collisions between them Pizza Rolls and Neon. And eventually Neon would get the game-leading flip. So 5-0 Miami on top. But that brought out Clown from the Atlanta side, and he was able to knock things up at 5 apiece. Now enter Monkey for the Miami Mafia. And a quick flip right there to give the lead back to Miami. 40 now out there, and both him and Monkey are down. So now a 15-10 game. Miami in the lead. Aqua Chevelle, their rookie from the captain spot, looking to put it away against Supra there. Supra, former D-leaguer, trying to show that he's got what it takes to be in the pros, and a pretty heavy-sized car. I mean, he's got some weight to him, really, and was able to get a tie there, but the game can't end on a tie between the 5-point gainer and the captain, so the two continue their battle. Supra still trying to force OT and not meant to be. Aqua Chevelle, too good today, gets the job done when he has to do it. 1-0 day for him. 15-10 final. Mafia get the win over the Avengers. And we move right on along. Milwaukee Mob, New Jersey Bandits. It was Kid Custom out there against Hot Tub Jr. And right off the first collision, both cars down. 5-5 the score. So Pink Lamborghini would come out there for the New Jersey Bandits. And look at how impressive he ended up being today. Out there against Monty Jr. here and able to get the flip on him. So 10-5, Bandits in the lead. And that would bring out Cartman. And check out that defensive move by Cartman, the rookie from the Milwaukee side. My goodness, such a great lightweight defensive car, and yet again able to stay up there, fighting a good fight, but all the offensive opportunities going Pink Lamborghini's way, and it finally does pay off. Pink Lamborghini has a 2-0 game day, and the Bandits have the win over the Mob. New Jersey 15, Milwaukee 5, the final. And we head to the Western Conference. Reapers and Lumberjacks, and it was Blue Indy out there starting things off very nicely for the Indianapolis Reapers out there against Mantis. A good little battle these two had, but in the end, Blue Indy's offense, too much, gets the lead. And then right there, that was very close. Darkwing is down there. But was there interference on the play? It would be under review, as a matter of fact. And let's take a look. Did he make contact with any of his teammates? He did not.
After further review, the rolling on the field stands. It looks like
I wanted you to hear it right from the video. Ruling on the field stands, and it was a 10-0 game. So Buzz off, getting the job done there, and he was able to keep the Lumberjacks in the game, but couldn't make a comeback happen. Phoenix, the rookie on the Indy side, too strong, able to get that final flip and the win. 15-5 the final. The Reapers get the win over the Lumberjacks. Back to the east we go with the Green Bay Dragons and the Gowanda Outlaws, and Inquisitor, the rookie of the Green Bay side, having an impressive day. He goes up against Lamborghini first and takes down Lamborghini relatively easily. Now out there against Hammer, Gowanda's recent acquisition from the Hartford Homies over the offseason, and he went down just like that. So 10-0, and then just like that, 15-0. Serving donuts for dinner, Inquisitor getting the job done. Goes 3-0 for the shutout, 15-0. The Dragons get the win over the Outlaws, and that was just plain outright a spanking right there. So we move on. Minnesota Maniacs, San Francisco Shinobis, and it was F3 there at the front runner spot for the Shinobis, looking impressive. And it's going to be after two collisions here against Red Racer, has the flip. F3 was up off screen, so 5-0 Shinobis. Entered Diablo 1 for the Maniacs, or my mistake, Diablo 2 for the Maniacs. He got taken down though. Doesn't matter what your name is, says F3. I'm going to take you down. But he gets taken down right there by Black Spinebuster, and this would steal the show Black Spinebuster and Spectite Jr. for the Shinobis there. So these two going at it head-to-head with the game on the line. 10-5 Shinobis in the lead, and both of these cars just putting on a spectacular battle. And right here, what a move. Black Spinebuster doing everything that he could to keep the Minnesota Maniacs in the game, and interference right there, saving himself. Was able to keep the fight going. Look at that move. Somehow, someway, keeping in the game and doing everything that he could, but it just wasn't going to be enough today. Forcing the issue. Spectite Jr. from the Shinobis getting the job done. San Francisco getting the win, 15-5 the final score. They defeat the Minnesota Maniacs. The battle between Alex Johnson and Brandon in the Car Demolition League seems to grow with every time their two teams play against each other, which was the case today. Out there first was Ratified for Brandon's Tampa Bay Gators. And you see him taking on Black Star from Alex Johnson's Puerto Rico Players. The two going at it, and it'd be Ratified getting the upper hand. 5-0 Tampa Bay. Out comes Green Blaze Jr. Good defense at the beginning of it, but not right there. Goes down 10-0 Tampa Bay in the lead. So now Black Lena out there trying to keep Alex Johnson's players in the game. Could he be able to do it? Well, he does cause some damage, so Ratified. Front end damage, goes through a timeout. You see me using the lighter to melt some tape on there, trying to get everything to hold together, all the repair pieces I used. I think it was like a half a piece of penny, using shears, cut a penny in half, then taping it on there, melting the tape, and we'll see if it works here, and absolutely, no question about it. Good flip right there, no interference, it was clean. 15-0 the final score. Ratified, serving donuts for dinner with a side of pain and shame. So, good win for Brandon and the Gators. Detroit Devils, New York Empire, as we cap off the first set of the highlights. Enzo 1 and Black Dragon go at it and take each other down. And just like that, we were tied at 5, bringing out Cloud Cutter and Challenge. And these two would have an interference party, if you will, as you saw them going there. But that time, no interference, and that time there would be an interference. So both cars getting sent back to their own sides. And this time around, Cloud Cutter was down, Challenge with the good flip, making it 10-5 New York. So, Padawan now out there, bringing his defensive prowess to the field, gets the flip, and we are tied at 10. So, Padawan and Black Bullet 2 now. Two good defensive cars going head-to-head, and the battle was on. Some good chances by both cars, some good defensive techniques, but the battle doesn't last as long as expected as Padawan went down. So the Empire in the lead, Black 3 trying to force OT, and does so. Takes down Black Bullet 2. So that forced overtime. Black 3 and Diesel Boy in OT. Detroit and New York, and here they went, and it wouldn't take long for both of them to forget what defense was as they both went down. Tie game, final score 15-15 between the Detroit Devils and New York Empire. Well, folks, that does it for our first segment of the highlights. Of course, there will be another one, but coming up, the mid-feature, the Nevada Thunder, going to be home against the Nashville Nighthawks. Both these teams looking for the win here today. Let's get down to the field for the game.
This is game time and it's game time and the madness fire. Show the strength that just can't be defined.
Alright folks, welcome back to CDL Live. You got some of those highlights, some great action going on around the Car Demolition League. How about that game between New York and Detroit? Black 3 stepping up big for that team, and hey, how about St. Louis doing pretty good? Or maybe even go to Green Bay. Inquisitor, I believe it was, having one heck of a game there. And all across the league, hey, what about Ratified for Tampa Bay too? Anyways, more live action, another live game gonna happen for you here. Well, not really live, but you know, as live as I can get it to you folks. It's the Nashville Nighthawks on the road to take on the Nevada Thunder. Nashville comes in there to this game coming off a tough loss. They have a 4-2 record, but lost to division rivals, the Chicago Wind Attack, in a battle of battle between two 4-1 teams, and Nashville got the lower hand in that matchup, so they come in here 4-2. As for the Nevada Thunder, ready to take the home side of the field today, they come into this matchup off of a 15-10 loss against the Phoenix Firebirds. They're 3-2-0-1 on the season, the Nevada Thunder. So both these teams looking for what would be a critical win in the early going of the season right now. Of course, long season left to go. But that being said, let's get ready for this matchup. You see the cars out there, and you see the cars out there, but I'm an idiot here sometimes. Let's get a look at the lineups. We got the official placards now. I hope you guys like this artwork that I did in the off season. Let's get a look. Alright, here we go. No Fear will be the car leading off for the Nashville Nighthawks, and his opponent meeting up offense with some offense of their own for the Nevada Thunder. It's White Indy. So game on. White Indy taken down by No Fear. And that card has stepped up in recent game days and gets the job done there. 5-0 score. That brings out Yellow Spider now for the Thunder. And bad roll there. Put both cards back on their own sides, and my own time. I'm trying to get my hands to get a better grab here. Looking for the right spots to grab, basically, and they go at it. Both cards remaining up yet again. Grazing shot there, and No Fear does have the flip. So it's a 10-0 game for Nashville. And that brings out the Rookie of the Year from last year. That's Hornet for the Nevada Thunder, and an interference right there. All cars going back to their own sides. They'll do this again. So, I'm actually going to pull from the front on car. So, continue the battle. Of course, Hornet, pretty good defensively, but we're seeing pretty good defense from No Fear right now. And, again, it's for my own use. And actually pulling the soap on No Fear right now. Cars can be slick and tough to grab. A little soap and soap water, I should say. Try to kill the crease on it, and a little drying off there. Hopefully I can get that grip I need. And it looks like I do have it. They go at it, and it's a good clean flip right there, and No Fear gets the job done. He serves donuts for dinner here in our middle feature event. 15-0 the final score. Who would have thought it'd be that dominant? 15-0. The Nashville Nighthawks serving donuts for dinner. He'd fry me a Twinkie. My goodness. Who saw that one coming? Because I sure did not myself. Nighthawks getting the win over the Thunder in a shutout. Coming up, though, more highlights for you across the league. There have been plenty of games a lot closer than that one, folks. But we'll get a look at more highlights that are happening on this game day. And then, finally, our main event. Dayton Rebels on the road against the Buffalo Warriors. The Warriors come into this game day with a 6-0 record. Can they get the magical number 7? We'll find out in just a little bit. So stay tuned. Oh, and because I don't believe I mentioned it after the first game here. You saw Chicago play LA. Let's take a look at who those two teams got next. The Blades will find themselves on the road against Phoenix Firebirds. The Chicago Wind Attack, they will find themselves on the road against division rivals, the Minnesota Maniacs. As for these two teams, the Nashville Nighthawks, they will be in divisional action on the road against the Indianapolis Reapers. And as for the Nevada Thunder, they will be on the road side of the field to take on the Houston Oilers on that March 9th game day, which will be the next game day coming up. So, that being said, highlights, and then we'll get to our main event, which is the Dayton Rebels and the Buffalo Warriors, but let's get a look at the rest of these highlights. So the Nighthawks bouncing back from the tough loss against the Chicago Wind Attack. They served donuts for dinner, 15-0, shutting out the Nevada Thunder. That being said, still more action to go through. Let's run through the rest of the highlights right quick before getting to our main event. Moving on to the second set of highlights, Idaho Cowboys, San Jose Storm, RDO2 and Solid Stake starting the game off and off screen. RDO2 was still up. They would switch sides, go at it again, and that time Solid Snake had a good flip. 5-0 San Jose off to a good start. But that would bring out 42nd for the Idaho Cowboys. And you see him go to work right away, takes down Solid Snake to tie the game up at 5. So 48 hours out there to take him on. And they would go at it for a little bit, and the defense was not enough for 48 hours today. He goes down 10-5 the score, Idaho in the lead. So Charizard trying to keep San Jose in the game, not going to happen. 42nd, getting the job done today, goes 3-0, and the Idaho Cowboys get the win, 15-5 over the San Jose Storm. And we move on along. Washington Patriots, Jacksonville Bangums. It was Red Ferrari Jr. out there first for the Patriots, Testarossa out there for the Bangums, and just like that, we had a 5-0 game in favor of Washington. But Zapp was out there for the Bangums quickly to tie it up at 5, and Landlord just as quickly gets the lead and flip right there on Zapp. So 10-5 Washington in the lead, just like that pretty much. Now Black Spectite coming out trying to tie things up with Landlord. These two will go at it, and you're going to be seeing this pretty soon. And a little sticky situation between the two. That front end is so slim on Landlord, and it cut into the tape of Black Spectite. So thus a timeout would have to be called. So coming back from the timeout, new tape on Black Spectite, and both cars would be down. So 15-10, and now that would bring out Ratitude and RDO6. Ratitude looking to put the game away, and indeed he would. 15-10 the final score, and the Washington Patriots getting the win today, keeping the lead in the Southeast Division, 15-10 the final. Moving on, Southern Division Showdown, Houston Oilers, San Antonio Kings, Texas-sized battle, I suppose, and Texas toast, that easy. Sweet 16 getting the quick lead for the San Antonio Kings, but that would quickly be tied up by Nickel and Diamond there. So, Nickel and Diamond now against RPG, and quickly sets down RPG. So 10-5, it was Houston in the lead, and that would bring out Motoblade Jr. for San Antonio, and quickly able to tie it after just a couple of collisions there. So now Motoblade Jr. and Racer X from the captain's spots, game tied at 10, and let the show of defense begin. Racer X so on point, surviving all of these collisions here. As you see, do a barrel roll. Let's get all those 3 collisions in slow-mo. Look at that one. Oh my goodness, how pretty. That's the thing of beauty. Da Vinci can't paint a better picture. Look at this one. Almost an interference. He didn't need to get an interference. He was able to roll back up. And the battle would continue between these two great defensive cars. As you see him continue to go at it. Just a spectacular show, and both of them would end up going down there. Oh, Captain, my Captain. Show him how to play D. Both of them rolling back up, and then in the end, neither of them could stand no more, as Popeye would say in a less French accent. But carry on, Black Testarossa 2 and Hot Wheel Vet in overtime. So now to the 5-point gainers, both of them trying to get the win. Tough act to follow the captains, and they would both kind of do the same thing, just wouldn't take as long. They both go down. Tie game, 15-15 the final score between the Oilers and the Kings, and both teams leading that third point that would come from a win on the table. 2 points for each in their hunt for the Southern Division title. And we move on. Pittsburgh Destroyers, Hartford Homies, and Yellow Custom was the car stepping up out there first for the Destroyers today, going up against Redemption. A good little fight between these two, but it would not take very long for Yellow Custom's offense to take effect. 5-0 right there. Bring out the heavyweight, 46 Jr., and able to make a good play there, an offensive chance. Couldn't get the flip in that time. Able to save himself, 46 Jr. in slow-mo. How does he do it? Who knows? Who knows? But they go at it some more, and so you see him somehow able to make some good defensive plays, but it is going to be to no avail. Yellow Custom, just too much for the Hartford Homies, and right there, takes down Indy 5. Game over, serving donuts for dinner. A 3-0 day for Yellow Custom, and the Pittsburgh Destroyers have the win, 15-0 over the Hartford Homies. And we move on along, Bradford Brawlers and the Boston Vandals, and you see pretty much off the bat there, it only was second collision in, and Escalade had a flip on Blue Dragon 2. It was 5-0. That brought out Nitro, and a good rollover move by Escalade, and Bradford's been looking for some defense out of him, but only good enough to get the 5-5 tie in the end. His Uncle Sam will now come out to take on Nitro here, and he would get the flip on Nitro. So 10-5 Bradford, enter Vendetta for the Boston Vandals, and his defense coming through, and he gets the flip on Uncle Sam. So all knotted at 10, Spinebuster and Vendetta, and let the show begin. These two putting on some impressive defense, basically on display here. So as you see them go at it, some good moves. You see them both staying stable, low to the ground, and that's what works in this league. But Vendetta is outlasted by Spinebuster. So 15-10 the score, and that would bring out Mach 5-3. Has good lightweight defense. As you see him staying up there, they would continue their matchup with the game on the line. 15-10 the score, and that's how it would end. Mach 5-3 going down. Brawlers get the win by that. So carry on with the Southern Division Showdown, and Green Arrow out there quick for the Phoenix Firebirds, getting the flip on Elite 5-0. They take the lead over the Gladiators, but coming out from New Orleans middleman spot, Golden Rat, and taking down Green Arrow right away, tying it up at 5. Mika out there trying to make a difference, can't do nothing. Golden Rat on a roll, and now he takes on Stock 34. As you see these two going at it, it came a pretty good battle. Look at this survival technique by Stock 34, trying to keep the Firebirds in it, but Golden Rat keeping the offensive pressure on, and was just too much for Stock 34 to handle. A 3-0 day for Golden Rat. The New Orleans Gladiators getting the win over the Phoenix Firebirds. New Orleans definitely a contender for that division title. 15-5 Gladiators beat the Firebirds. And we move on, Denver Mustangs, San Diego Lightning, and it was Purple Custo making his impact in the early going. As you see him here against Dirty Snow, there's a bit of an interference there. They go at it again, and it was Dirty Snow going down. Purple Custo getting the flip. That brought out the rookie Hot Goat for San Diego and set him down right away. 10-0 Denver. But look out for this guy. 24 hours. Yeah, he can wear a shirt that says "this guy" with the two fingers on there. Immediately getting his team back in the game. And look what he does now to the defense of the Denver Mustangs. Ties it up right there. Red Detta coming out. He gets set down. All of a sudden the Lightning have a 15-10 lead. And look at this move in slow-mo. 24 hours. How you stop them? Able to stay up there, keep the fight going with Blue 512, and a perfect 4-0 day for the San Diego Lightnings. 24 hours. 24 hours. Why? Because he can get it done all day. At least it would definitely appear if you watch this game. 4-0 day. And what else can I say? San Diego Lightning getting the win 15-10 over the Mustangs. Back to the Eastern Conference we go. Wolves and Demons, and it was Aqua Ferrari taking down Pink Indy right away for the 5-0 lead. But just like that, the tables would be turned. Green Demon coming out and getting the job done, taking down Aqua Ferrari. He makes it look good in the process. Green Demon, the rookie, doing such a fantastic job. Now takes on Bully Goat. And we're going to see quite the impact coming up right here. And lose your top. My goodness, Green Demon down, but as you see the top part of Bully Goat coming off, get this, he is still up, his wheels still touching the ground, his chassis basically is still upright in the process. So basically a timeout going to be called, unlike what the Demons pulled with Silver Molina not long ago, but nonetheless timeout called and Bully Goat be reassembled. Cleveland with the 10-5 lead, but Silver Molina right there says, "You can't outdo me. I am Silver Molina. Only I can play with my top off and still get a win and be good afterwards." And he takes down Bully Goat. And Octanian would be the next challenge out there for him, and taking that challenge down like it's nothing. So now Junk in the Trunk out there for Cleveland, trying to force overtime, and comes close to getting a tie flip there, but not to be. Silver Molina, too good defensively, saves himself, taking down Junk in the Trunk, and getting the Demons the win. A 4-0 day for Silver Molina, 15-10 the final. Demons beat the Wolves. And we end the last highlight reel with the showdown in the desert. The Roswell Aliens on the road to take on the New Mexico Monsters. And you see the first two cars that would be out there, F1 Racer and X-Wing, would start off this competition with two offensive cars playing a little defense here in the early going of things as their fight came to its end here. So 5-0 New Mexico in the lead. X-Wing getting a good flip, but that would bring out Dragonfly, and just such a good car. Look at this. Mama put me in a K-pop video as we take a look in slow-mo. Somehow Dragonfly able to stay up, and the fight continues. And X-Wing doing a good job hanging in there with a great defensive car like Dragonfly. Definitely putting up a great fight. And not for the better lack of effort or anything like that, X-Wing does end up going down here. So that would tie things up at 5 apiece, and just that's all it was in this game. Effort on both sides, and a lot of it. As we see Futurama come out here, and what a move by him in slow-mo. Put him in that same K-pop video with Dragonfly. Unbelievable maneuvers being pulled by both cars. They both figure out a way to dance here. Futurama down off screen there. So now Dragonfly versus Synchro. 10-5 the score now. Roswell Aliens in the lead, and the fight between these two defensive cars would commence. Game on the line. Synchro trying to keep the monsters in it, and just such a good fight between these two. As you can see, defense on display. Synchro with a good maneuver there, able to turn around, get an offensive chance of his own. And look at this, Dragonfly yet again. Do a barrel roll, able to stay up and in it, and that time it would be over. Dragonfly just too tough for the monsters to handle. Aliens getting the win 15-5, but it was a deceiving game. 15-5, you think, oh, it's kind of a blowout. Not the case. This game definitely closer than what the score tells in a story. So 15-5, Aliens getting the win over the monsters. Well, folks, that caps off all the highlights from all the games that happened here on this March 7th game day, and it's finally time for our main event. As the only team with the perfect record left in the Car Demolition League, the Buffalo Warriors, 6-0, are home today to face the only, well, not the only team, but one of the only teams that hasn't lost a game in regulation yet, the Dayton Rebels. They're 4-0-1, coming off of a bye week. They should be fresh, should be entertaining here. Dayton, Buffalo, Rebels, Warriors. Let's get down to the field for the action.
This is game time, and it's game time, and the madness fly. Show the strength that just can't be defied.
And CDL fans, it has come time for our main event here for this March 7th game day. Should be an epic battle. We got a case of close to perfect versus perfect on the field here. The Dayton Rebels, 4 wins, no losses, no ties, just the 1 overtime loss to blemish their record on the road, up against the 6 wins, no loss, no tie, no overtime loss, Buffalo Warriors, perfect 6-0, 6 games played, 6 wins in the bank. The only undefeated perfect team left in the CDL, and they look to remain that way here today, home against Dayton. Should be a fun game to watch. Some good defensive talent on both sides when we take a look at Toe and, of course, What there. And you got a little change in Buffalo strategy, a little change in lineup. You got one that will impact the game, but, of course, maybe putting Inferno at 5-point gainer to match up against the defense that Dayton has at the back of their line. Of course, you know, heavyweights like Inferno up against a defensive car sometimes works in the favor of a heavyweight car. So, of course, a lightweight defensive car like Sub-Zero here or Toe there. So, some strategy is afoot, it would appear, but nonetheless, should be a fun game to see. Dayton Rebels, Buffalo Warriors. Let's get a look at the lineups. So here we go. We lead off this game with two former D-Leaguers. That's El Rey on the Dayton Rebels side, acquired in a trade between that team and Tim Geiser's organizations, and nonetheless, to the end was for a draft pick. And to the home side of the field is the Buffalo Warriors, bringing out former Syracuse Scorpion Willin Dillon. He did very well in Syracuse, and he's done his job at 5-point gainer so far this year. Now coming out from the front runner spot, and he gets taken down by El Rey right off the bat. So 5-0, the Rebels in the lead, and that brings out Tyrell. The offense that comes with them, no doubt, and he has a flip on El Rey right there. And two collisions and two flips later, we have a 5-5 game. That now brings out Zapper for the Dayton side. Offense versus offense here, and a good flip there. Off screen, but down is Zapper, and the Buffalo Warriors take the 10-5 lead. But now the defense coming out for Dayton. That is Toe out there, trying to keep his Rebels in the game. Switching sides with Tyrell, and able to stay up there. That's just how good defensively he is, but Tyrell bringing the offense to the table. And Tyrell has been a car possessed so far this season. The Warriors get the win, 15-5 the final score. They go to 7-0 and stay perfect. And how far can they go? And really, it has just been the season of Tyrell on this new field. No car has handled it better than Tyrell has, in my opinion. But he's definitely got it done on this field. It's just grooved the right way that his wheels roll on it just so perfectly. And you see today, he gets that perfect game, really. Going, what was it, 3-0 against the Dayton Rebels, a team that was 4-0-1, now 4-1-0-1. That was their first regulation loss of the season. That being said, we take a look towards the future for both these teams. The Dayton Rebels on the next game day, the March 9th game day. You'll catch them in the highlights, folks. They'll be on the road against Northern Division rivals, the Milwaukee Mob. As for the Buffalo Warriors, you'll also see them in the highlights as well, as they look to go 8-0 on the road against the Carolina Wildcats. That's, of course, on the March 9th game day. As for the games that will be up on display like this for you, are featured events from that March 9th game day. The first one, to lead off the whole thing, the Boston Vandals on the road against the Washington Patriots. Should be a great game. Then the middle game, we see the San Jose Storm, who are up and down this year. They're 3-4 now, but on the road to take on the New Orleans Gladiators. We'll see if the Storm can bring their A game. It's more of the factor of this. If they can bring their A game, it could be a very entertaining game. If they don't bring their A game, it could be a very quick game and not to their liking. But then the main event, it's a Northern Division showdown and what should be really just a great matchup. The Pittsburgh Destroyers on the road to take on the Cleveland Wolves. That's our main event. And yeah, that's going to be the March 9th game day. Other entertaining games on tap, though. The LA Blades taking on the Phoenix Firebirds. Nevada Thunder and the Houston Oilers go head-to-head. San Diego and Roswell, they'll butt heads. Philadelphia at Atlanta, might be interesting, maybe. Hey, if Miami's got things going, they take on New York. Could be an interesting game there. Puerto Rico, see if they can change the tide of their season against New Jersey. Tampa Bay, Gowanda, could be a very fun game to watch. But yeah, there's quite a few in there. So, and the teams on the bye for the next game day, Idaho and Bradford, of course. Carolina and Dallas had the bye today. So that being said, folks, James Hulse here, owner and creator of the Car Demolition League, thanking you for sticking with us and for enjoying all the action that these toy cars can bring. It's not even so much me, folks. I just smash them together. They do the rest. Simple as that. And I thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Till next time, take care of yourself, be yourselves, and peace.
I love LA. Big Sad, California, yes, still applies to me. Everybody Anybody got something to say?